So for this next video, we were asked by a subscriber and a viewer if we were willing to show up at his place of residence and help him set up the Nova 51 Plus. So of course, my wife and I jumped at the chance. We never had our hands on one, so we decided that why not? Let's go and take a road trip. Fortunately, it wasn't that far to help this viewer set up his Thunder Laser Nova 51 Plus. So throughout this video, it's probably going to be a long one. We've got some unboxing, we've got some setup, putting everything together, walking through setting up with the easy button that Thunder provides in the thumb drive. We also took the time and did some testing. So in future videos, we'll have how thick of material can the that 60 watt RF tube cut. The engraves look pretty good. We switched out some heads. Like I said, we did a whole bunch of tests over the couple of days that we were there. Again, before I forget, I want to thank Dave for inviting us and allowing us to come into his home with his family and set this machine up. Walk him through. Hopefully, he learned something. Hopefully, if y'all watch the whole thing, y'all will learn something. So, as everything goes, let's get into it and see how everything turns out. So here we've got the front off of it and the top off of it already. Sorry for the lack of video for that, but it's relatively straightforward. You'll find that to disassemble this crate, you will need a hammer, a pry bar, a drill with a cross tip on it to pull the screws and the metallic corners off. And then it's just manhandling it and disassembling the crate until you get to what you need. Okay, so on the Nova 51 Plus, when you get it out of the crate, you'll see on one side of it that you have your air pump, your toolbox, your material kit, your exhaust fan, and your hose. We're gonna cut the plastic here, pull that out. We'll take a look at it in a few minutes. So here we've moved all the accessories that come with the laser. Again, you need to get them out of your way so that they're safe, and then you can get to the remainder of the crate. We have the top braces that need to come off. There should be 4 of them at the top. You just use a hammer and pry bar and remove them. Then the removing the last side, depending on how you're set up, may be fairly easy. It could be difficult. For these, the staples and the nails did a really good job of holding. So here on the corner, this one's new since the last time. It reminds you before moving the machine, unscrew the nut and raise the foot. And that's what we're getting ready to do. Okay, so we're gonna remove these to get it off the pallet. It's just as simple. Prying them up and getting them out of the way. Sometimes you may have to take a hammer and that pry bar and beat on it a little bit just to get those nails up. They did a really good job of holding the feet and the wheels in place. So here we're going to raise the feet up by using an adjustable wrench. We just want to move the feet or loosen the feet so that they are out of the way of the plywood, so that when we go to roll this, it's rolling on the casters and the feet do not get in the way. Again, you want to do all 4 sides. Make sure they're up if you don't want to remove those pieces of plywood. Okay, so when we're getting ready to take this off the pallet, we've already got the wheels, it's on its wheels. The feet are up and out of the way. We're going to take one of the sides and we're going to lay it down and prop it up, and we're going to use this as a ramp. That's the goal. We'll move it off and then move everything out of the way and finish getting it set up. Whether you use the plywood or what you use, we use the plywood on this one. The plywood is a little thinner than I remember, but it generally works as a ramp. Sometimes you got to put your back into it, add a little muscle to get the job done. Okay, now that we're completely out of the crate, we're going to pull the cellophane off. Just be careful with your knife. Don't cut your fingers. It may take you a little bit. Get the corner pads. And once we're unwrapped, we'll be back. Now it's out of the way, let's open it up. Walk this way real quick. So the first thing you're going to do is look, and you'll see right here attached to the honeycomb is the key, and then a little baggie. We're going to cut the first little zip tie, pull out the pieces. So this little baggie is your testing, your laser spot test, and then we have the key and the gold card. And then inside of the honeycomb again, you'll see 3 zip ties. And straight in the back, those are the 3 that you want to cut. And they're cut. So let's check out what's in the toolbox. We have our Allen keys as usual. We have our screwdriver. We have another small tip screwdriver. We have our lens tool, and then the small orifice tip for the laser, for the lens, and tube kit. We have some O-rings. These are going to go on your nozzles. We have magnets, a small X belt. If you need to replace one, we have got 2 acrylic cubes. This is to test your beam spot and making sure that your beam is 90 degrees. Underneath the bottom, we have our lens cleaner. We have our USB cable. We have our power cord, 20 amp, 120 volt. Outlet should look like that, and later on in the video we have what the outlet actually looks like. Our Ethernet cable, Q-tips, our squeeze bulb for air, lubricating oil, a set of slip ring pliers. These will be used if you need to tighten or loosen the bearings. We've got a small metric ruler. We have a small little box cutter and some zip ties. Again, the tool kit may change from time to time, but generally speaking, this is what you're going to get inside of the tool kit. We're going to throw everything back inside of it and get it moved out of the way so we can move on to the next part. So inside of your toolbox, you have your Allen keys. We're going to find the right one to fit, and then before we can take the front door off, we need to start removing some of the screws that lock it in place. We should have one there, and then we have one in this corner here. There's also a few more that we can pull off now to save you the trouble later, which are inside of the right-hand blue door. The left-hand blue door, you see we've already got opened. There's no lock on that one, because generally you don't need to get into it except for maybe the mirror too. So we're going to open up the back now, use the key, unlock it, and then open the rear door. And what we find back here is the RF tube itself. We have the beam expander on the end. We move over behind it. We have the fan board with the fan board cable. And then directly beside that, we have the 48 volt power supply. Okay, so the fan. Once you unwrap this, this will come together like this. Just pull it apart. It's 2 separate pieces. As we open the fan up, we have 3. I never understand why they give 3 when you actually need 4. But It's the owner's responsibility to provide the clamp for whatever's going out the wall. Thunder provides you the one for the machine to this, and then on both sides of the fan. This is beefy. So we'll go ahead and take this out of the plastic. And undo the wire. Okay, so right here we have the power out, your power input for your 115 volt or 120 volt, your output for your air pump. So when we hook the air pump up, it's going to get plugged in right here, and then your exhaust fan. We're going to go ahead and plug the exhaust fan in, and that's all we need to do at the moment. Now we're going to hook up the tubing to the exhaust fan and make sure we have the fan going in the right direction. Okay, so we're going to start. We're going to take our clamp, our hose clamp. We're going to grab our screwdriver. So again, use your screwdriver to tighten the hose clamp. Slip it on the hose. Cheat like I'm going to cheat and use a drill. Slide the hose onto the fan and tighten it down. Whether you, again, use your screwdriver that's provided or a drill, that's completely up to you. The drill will make life so much easier and faster to use. If you look, we've got the arrows. The arrows are going to point out, away from the machine and outside. Now we're going to put the hose clamp on and tighten it up so that we make a good seal, and then we'll be able to move on to the air pump. So now moving on to the air pump, we're going to open up the box and we're going to pull out all the pieces and parts. The white manifold you don't need. The blue hose is what's going to attach to the air pump itself. It's a little bit of a tight struggle maybe. So here we're going to take the end of the blue hose and we're going to screw it into the end of the air pump. I just did this one finger tight. You can use a wrench and tighten it up just a little. Once you have the blue hose tight, we're going to take the power cable and remove the twist tie and then plug it directly into the port on the back of the laser that says air. You'll see here it's the second one, or directly in the. From there, it's time to plug in the blue hose to the back of the machine. On the opposite side, you'll see the port. All you have to do is push in the blue hose, tug on it. Now it's time to take the power cable, the blue end, you're going to twist it, slide it into place, twist and lock and pull to make sure it stays. To undo it, you just pull the lever and. This is a 120 volt, 15 amp plug. This does not work on the Nova Plus 51s or most of the Nova Pluses. You have to have a 120 volt, 20 amp plug that looks like this. This is what the requirement is for your power. No exceptions. So we have our thumb drive. We're going to put our thumb drive in. Now we're going to import. We're going to find the thumb drive that says Thunder. We're going to go to Nova Series laser cutter. Oh. Communication settings. And we're going to open. And it brought that all in. And then we're going to hit OK. So now that we've used the easy button to bring in our settings, we're going to double check to see if the scan offsets that were brought in through the thumb drive match our gold card. So I'm going to grab my gold card and I'm going to just verify that they match. And looking at the numbers, everything matches. So this setup, or using the easy button, as we like to call it, brings in all your settings. It brings in everything that you need to know. You do not have to go through the manual setup like we used to. It makes life a whole lot easier. So hopefully this yours will be just as easy. So now we're going to switch out the lens. We're going to drop the 1.5 lens in. So first step is we're going to release the air hose. You have a quick disconnect at the top that you pull down. And then pull the tube up. Then we're going to turn the big brass knob while holding the tube. We're going to drop it down. And now we are going to remove the tube from the nozzle. If this is brand new, first time ever doing this, you might want to keep a hold to the bottom. There's threaded area there that has a tendency to potentially come apart. So we're going to switch over this way so you can see a little bit better. Now we're going to keep the O-ring up and then screw into the nozzle. You may or may not have to find the O-rings. They may not be on the lens itself. They may be in a Ziploc bag to attach. So from here, we're just going to slide the tube back into the housing until you feel it stop, and then turn the brass screw. Last step is to reconnect the air hose. That's changing out the lens. So on your Air Assist controller, you want to adjust your low air, hit the test button, and move the pen valve counterclockwise, opening it up until your PSI reads above the 0.3 and the red stops flashing. This will prevent the alarm from sounding or going off and preventing you from running your project. Let's move over to the controller. We've got the power on. I'm going to use the arrow keys and I'm going to move the head around, get it over top of my material. I'm going to go ahead and autofocus. So menu, first one that comes up, if it will focus, is autofocus. I'm going to hit enter, and then we're going to watch it autofocus. So the bed's going to come up. And now we're done autofocusing. It's probably 5 to 6 millimeters away from the head, the material, between the material and the head, and I can see the red dot. Okay, so it also comes with the manual focus tool. We're going to slide that right over that edge there, let it sit, and then you can see I've got a little bit of a bow in the material, and it's set correctly. So that's how the autofocus or the manual focus tool works. Now that the machine is set up, connected to Lightburn, we're going to run our first test, which is a material test. Currently, I am moving the head to set the origin. So I'm using the control panel and the arrow keys to move the head.
Sorry about my fingers there. I'm going to zoom in so you can see the red dot is generally in that corner. Once we've got the head placed in the corner, I'm going to move back over to the control panel and I'm going to hit the origin button. By hitting the origin button, it locks us into position based on Lightburn's origin as well. And then we're going to send the file to the controller. We will not start, we will send. For me to verify that the file has been sent, you hit the file button, not the menu button, the file button, and then hit enter. You'll see it start to come up there. So we hit enter, and the file shows up there. We can see the settings are in place, and we are about ready to run the file. So I'm going to hit escape. And then once we've hit escape, we're back there. We can get ready to send. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to verify the framing. So we can frame from Lightburn, which we just did, by hitting the frame button. Or I can come over to the controller and hit the frame button. And now it frames where I generally want it to go. When you start looking at this, you'll see the speed is 200 millimeters a second. That is the speed for the gantry as you use the arrow keys. That is not the speed or power of your file. The 20% is the power when you hit the pulse button. There's been some confusion in the past.
Now that we hit start, it's going to move to the starting position. It's going to wait 5 seconds and then start to engrave.
With our first project underway, we can look at it, see how things are going to engrave or cut. We just use this one as a simple test to prove that the machine works, that everything transferred correctly, that the focus works. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I hope that you've learned something from this video. And then in future videos, we'll discuss more of testing.
Well, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. Setting up that Nova 51 Plus was a fantastic opportunity for us. Again, stay tuned. We will be releasing video on how it performed doing material tests, as well as how it performed doing cuts on thicker pieces of material. Thanks, and y'all have a great day.